Avoid fearmongers. They're always in a negative space. I don't want those people around me. No, thank you. No, thank you. Greetings. Welcome back to Dark Feminine Consciousness. I am Tifara. Someone asked me, I believe it was on the video on the 8 phases of the moon, that someone asked me about how to let go of fear. How can you let go of fear and doubt and anxiety? The first thing to realize is that fear is not real. It's false evidence appearing real. It's an illusion that is formed in your subconscious mind. It's not happening. It probably never ever has happened. And you don't know that it will ever happen, right? It does not exist. So if it's not real, how can you allow it to affect you? It's a human condition, you know. We all have a fear of something happening, but we live in that fear and don't realize that it doesn't exist. And fear is a healthy thing, you know. Fear, there's nothing wrong with feeling fear. Fear is something that can help us. It can save us. Fear can save you from jumping into a river if you can't swim. You will drown if you can't swim, if you jump in some deep waters, right? With children are fearless. Children just don't have an awareness of danger until, well, through experience they learn, right? And through parents telling them, don't do that, it's dangerous. Then they understand, okay, to an extent, they understand that I may get hurt because mommy says, don't do it. But they have to be monitored all the time because they have no sense of fear, right? So fear can be healthy. A healthy dose of fear can be good, but you don't live in fear, especially as an adult. You should know boundaries. You should know where you can go that is not safe, what you can do that is not safe, right? But it should not cripple you from taking certain chances. It should not cripple you from doing the things that you want to do. So I'm going to share with you some tips today on how you can get over fear and release doubt and anxiety. Number one, you have to choose. And this is what I responded to the person who asked the question. You have to choose to be fearless. You have to get up every day and decide that you are not going to live in fear, right? Mind over matter. And it isn't really even all mind over matter because it's completely in the mind. You know, it's not happening. Matter is what really exists, right? So it's not even mind over matter. It's just mind. It's all mental. And so you have to control your fear with your mind. I recommend this book all the time for learning how to control your thoughts, The Master Key. It is not an easy read, but if you are dedicated to learning how to use your mind to serve you, I think that it is a good book for you to invest in. A lot of times, the things that we do in life, not just with fear in general, is a choice. Happiness is a choice, right? You can choose to be happy. You can choose to feel peace in spite of everything that is happening around you, in spite of everything that has happened to you. You can choose peace. You can choose happiness, right? It's the same thing. You can choose not to be fearful. You can choose not to doubt yourself. You can choose not to doubt situations. You can choose not to think negatively. It's a choice. Number two, stop consuming fear. And that is in the media and in your food as well. I know a lot of the meat eaters don't want to hear this, but this is just the truth. When you eat animals, you are eating their fear. They sense when they're in danger just like we do. And all types of chemical reactions happen in our bodies when we are feeling fear our blood changes, our tissues change, our organs change, everything in our body changes when we are feeling a certain level of fear. And animals feel the same thing too. So when you eat dead animals that have been traumatized, have gone through some traumatic experience, the traumatic experience of how they died as well, you are eating that fear. You are consuming that fear, right? And you are also consuming what the chemical change that took place in their body from the fear, right? You are taking that in. So yeah, you are going to project that. Be mindful of what you follow on social media, because it is going to determine how you feel about your life, how you feel about so many different things. I am very mindful about what I watch. I mostly tune into YouTube, and the YouTube algorithm is so sensitive that if you watch one little thing, you will start seeing it coming up on your feed like crazy. So I'm very mindful of what I watch. I don't want to see nothing about P Diddy coming up in my feed. So I don't follow vlogs. I don't listen to gossip. I don't listen to any of those things. I don't watch news on there either, unless there's a particular thing that I want to see and I want to hear what the news is reporting about it. I don't watch it. You understand? So the same thing for television. I don't sit down and consume news. If you sit down and watch the news, sometimes you would never believe that there are good things happening in the world or in Jamaica. And there absolutely are good things happening. But that's what the media wants to do to you, keep you in a constant state of shock. It will show up in your life. That shock and fear and doubt keep you in a constant state of scarcity, and you can't. And I don't want to live in that space. So I don't want nobody condition my mind. Yes, I am careful and I am mindful, but I don't walk with fear. I don't walk with thinking that negative things are going to happen to me, because I know that my mind is powerful and I attract with my mind. Number 3, avoid fearmongers, right? There are some people who are just always living in fear and doubt. They're always in a negative space. When you tell them something or share something with them, they will always find the negative in it, except to find the positive, you know. They will always feel like, oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, I wouldn't go there. Or you shouldn't, you know. Oh, you're not afraid of this? Just constantly in fear and doubt. I don't want those people around me. No, thank you. No, thank you. Find mentors. Find people who push you. Find people who motivate you. Find people who will tell you, you know, you can do that. You can do that. You should do that. Or you should try that. You understand? And there's nothing wrong with cautioning people. Mentors can caution you also and tell you to be careful, but not in a way that makes you feel like you shouldn't do what you're doing or you should change your mind. I hate when I'm certain about something and I talk to somebody about it, and then suddenly I start thinking about all of the negative things that could possibly happen. And sometimes you will catch yourself and sometimes you won't. And you will completely change your mind about something that you were sure about before you talk to somebody about it. But sometimes, unless it's a mentor, nobody talk to nobody. Number 4, challenge yourself. Do something different. Do the thing that you're fearful of. You know, I remember when I just started dating my king man, he had a lot of spiders around him. And I don't like spiders. I've had a fear of spiders for a very, very long time. And he had some of the biggest spiders I've ever seen in Jamaica. Big. And so that was a challenge for me. But you don't know how women are. Women will quickly release fear when it comes to a man. So No surprise. I forgot about my fear of spiders very quickly. But I know it was a challenge. I challenged myself that I'm going to deal with this. And I haven't had any encounters with those spiders. And I know they're around, but I haven't had any serious encounters, like one crawling on me or one crawling on my face, which is one of my fears. But the more you think about it, and I've learned this, the more you think about those things is when you attract them. The spiders will come if you are thinking about them coming. And another fear I overcame with my kingman is that he lives in the garrison. Most people would not venture into certain spaces. And I decided to make myself comfortable in a place where people would generally think is unsafe, with people who are very different from me, socialized very differently from me. And even though I feel very safe, I feel protected around him. So some things don't really bother me. But it's definitely a different environment than I'm used to. And also that I didn't really think my parents would approve of. Although I'm a grown woman, I can make my own decisions still, you know what I mean? But I've never experienced the garrison quite like this before. Listen, I had an experience recently. I have to go do a story time about that. I do story time on my memberships. So I'm gonna do a story time about this experience because it was something. It was something. And it still didn't make me fearful, and I didn't feel like I wanted to run the next day. You know what I mean? And not turn back. And I know most people who aren't from the garrison having an experience like that probably would disappear after, right? So that's how much I don't live in fear. And I get a lot of that from him too, because he's kind of fearless, in the way that he approaches things. He's always thinking that he's protected. He believes and knows that he is protected, and so him no walk with fear of nothing at all. So yeah, challenge yourself by doing something that you're not used to. Especially now, we're still in Taurus season. Yeah, it's the time to challenge yourself. It's time to push yourself to do something different and something that would rock you. It's time to push right now. Number 5 is meditation. Meditation is good for helping you to release fear because it helps you to focus your mind. Instead of worrying about things that could go wrong, things that aren't going right, you focus on the things that could go right and the things that are going right. When your mind is focused on the things that you do want, you manifest the things that you want. It is that simple. Mind over matter, right? All is mental. So meditation helps to keep you in the state of mind that you want to be in, where you need to be, and out of that state of fear and doubt. That's why I love meditating. When I don't meditate, I start to question myself. Am I doing things right? I have started to question if I'm focused or if I know what I'm doing, because meditation really keeps me in awareness. Otherwise, you can lose touch very quickly if you're not focused. And meditation really helps me with that. And so I think even the most disciplined person can find value in meditation. But it's just meditating the right way. Number 6 is to be yourself. And I know that is not as easy as it sounds. Because I, for a long time, was not being myself, and I was not sharing my worldview. It had changed from me being pro black, black, black. I shared a lot of that, but when my spirituality changed and I knew that a lot of people, including my family, is more Christian minded, and I knew that it wouldn't be received very well, and a lot of people might think I'm crazy. A lot of people might think that I'm dabbling in things that are evil because they don't understand it. So I had a lot of fear of being looked at differently or being treated differently. So I just didn't share certain things. I suppressed a lot of things. I realized that it was crippling me. It was kind of blocking a lot of my blessings. You block a lot of your blessings when you aren't yourself, right? So I decided that, no matter what, no matter how people feel about it, I'm going to express how I feel. I'm totally capable of expressing how I feel and how I see things and why I see things the way I do. So I'm gonna do that. I have a lot less fear being myself. I'm comfortable in myself. Number 7 is to reprogram your subconscious mind. And I did a video previously on how to reprogram your subconscious mind to come out of depression, but it is applicable to so many things, not just depression. So you can go back and look at that video on how to reprogram your subconscious mind. Meditation helps with reprogramming your subconscious mind. Body awareness helps with reprogramming your conscious mind. So yoga is really good for body awareness, because fear is something that you feel in your body. Again, it's a feeling. So you have to locate the parts of your body that fear is and eliminate it, remove it, stretch it out, kick it out. Mindfulness is another way that you can reprogram your subconscious mind. Staying mindful constantly of your thoughts. What am I thinking? Why am I thinking this? Where is this coming from? Because a lot of times when you stop to analyze your thoughts, you realize that, this is coming from that conversation I had earlier. This is coming from me seeing that person earlier, and then you can detach from those thoughts. This is not mine. Grounding is another way to reprogram your subconscious mind. Going to nature and ground. If you can't go into nature, well, nature is everywhere, so you don't need to go into nature. Nature is everywhere. You can take off your shoes and go outside and connect with the ground, connect with the earth. You start to feel more relaxed. You start to feel more at ease. It's a cleansing. You remember who you are when you connect with earth. You remember that you are a part of it. If you go into nature and observe, you don't see no fear. Earth is just what it is. It is constantly evolving, regenerating, creating. Every day it is on the same trajectory. The animals, the same thing. They live fearlessly, doing their purpose every day. Right? So you remember when you connect to nature, you remember your own nature, and that your nature is not fear. This book, Ma'at, The 11 Laws of God by Ra'un Nefer. I think this is the first book that I got from Ra'un Nefer. And it's a great introduction to him if you aren't aware of him and his work. And his work is incredible. Like this is one of the people that I feel like they came here on a special mission. And he's clearly walking in his mission, right? He's walking in his purpose fully. And because he's written so many books. I think he's written over like 40 books or so. But anyway, this one is a good introduction to him. And this book taught me how to live without fear, how to walk fearlessly, how to walk and be cool, calm, collected in everything, through every situation, through the hardest challenge, even through losing people, how to stay cool, calm, and collected, how to stay in a state of peace through anything. This book taught me that. If you are really interested in spiritual elevation, you will invest in these books, you will invest in learning who Ra'un Nefer is, because the information that he shares is invaluable. I know that the people who are really invested in their growth, invested in their spiritual elevation, will do it. So this is not going to be for everybody, and I know that, and that's okay, right? My message is not for everybody. I know that. And I'm not trying, even though it might look that way, I'm not trying to reach everybody. There are a particular group of people who I know need this information, so I'm sharing it, right? So you will go and find it. Go and find his website where all of his work is. iNation sells his books because I got my art from him. See him stamp there. I got my art, this book from him. I got the Afrocentric Guide to Spiritual Union. I got from him. I got the Metu Netta Volume 1 and 2 from him. But you can go on his website, and his courses are available on his website as well. So if you are truly interested, you will invest in your own elevation. And Ra'u Nefer's work also can teach you about how to meditate properly. So if you really want to learn how to meditate properly, follow Ra'u Nefer. Amen. Those are my tips for living without fear and eliminating doubt and anxiety, right? Of course, there are many other ways that you can do this, but this is what I decided to share today. So the retreat is drawing nearer, guys. So I do have a few spaces left. If you are interested, I'll put the link to the web page where you can get additional information. You can also book, right? So you get information about what's happening at the retreat. You get the itinerary, all of the activities, everything is on the website, right? So you know all of what you're getting for the $800. So we're almost at 16,000 subscribers. Please share with somebody who you think might find this information valuable, right? And tell them to subscribe. Get our subscribership up. Also, make sure you like the video because it helps with the algorithm, so this information gets out there to others as well. And leave a comment about how you have learned to overcome fear in your life, right? So we'll connect in the next video. Take care of yourself. Later, guys.